Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Kevin T. Robertson, the world's #1 speaker coach on the world's #1 platform for speaker marketing, here coming to you live and direct with co-founder Auston Troyer. Today's session is going to be entitled Market Differentiation. And what I want to do today is talk to you about all of the things that is going to create separation from you and the rest of the market. So today we're going to be talking about how to create market differentiation and become outstanding in your niche. This is very important for all of you who have a very specific topic that you want to deliver, and you are in the process now of building a brand. I'm going to show you all of the vital elements in this masterclass. I'm going to teach you how to create the differentiation, how to separate yourself from the competition. You know, you want to be an original when you are a professional speaker. As you are building your speaking empire, you want to make sure you're not afraid to be yourself, because at the end of the day, you were uniquely and specifically designed and wired to do something different above and beyond everybody else in the world. So, don't think about you having to outdo everybody so much as you need to figure out what it is that you want to present to the marketplace, because that differentiator right there is going to make you stand out above and beyond the rest in your field. Now, I know it's a little difficult to understand, so I'll tell you a quick story. As I was, climbing up the coveted ladder, trying to, make my bones in the speaking industry, I was trying to make a name for myself. And when I first started out, I was 18. I knew nothing about marketing at all. I really didn't understand the higher level of marketing. So I took what little education that I had as far as marketing. I was in entertainment. Now I knew how to work an audience. I knew how to work the crowd and work the stage and things of that nature. And I was a professional musician by the time I was 16, but that's a different business. Working the stage and making some girls scream is different from being on stage as a professional speaker, delivering value to people who absolutely need to hear the content that you are delivering. When I first started, I didn't understand what that was. So I was doing a lot of rambling, a lot of babbling. I didn't understand that me having a brand would eventually would become what I would make the primary, source of my income, was going to be just me being myself. And I didn't understand in the beginning. So in the beginning, I was chasing after every other speaker. You're talking, almost at least over 30 years ago, I used to try to ask the speaker, can I take you to lunch? Can I come work your seminar? A lot of them were blowing me off. I had one to step up to the plate, one. And I got that opportunity to work with Les Brown because I wasn't chasing him. I was doing a speaking engagement, doing my thing, minding my business. I was stuck in the youth and the faith-based market. I was still making very little at the time. And I remember Les was in the audience. His daughter was singing in the choir, I believe. They were in town from Atlanta or something like that. And like I'm working the stage, and I'm dead center stage. I see Les Brown standing right in my face. And I'm like, damn, I know that's not Les Brown. Like I'm not saying it on the microphone, but I'm saying it to myself. I know this isn't Les Brown. And it was. He was right there in the middle of the stage. So I simply just called his name out, told him that, hey, I appreciated what he did for speakers. Everybody knows Les's story. I was following him. I never met him up to that point, but I was following him, and he was right there in my audience. So I just paid homage to him. I gave him a compliment. I was selling my book afterwards. He came over to me. He asked me to speak at an event called Motivational Monday. That was a Friday. The very next Monday, so I was excited over the weekend, he had me open up the show. He gave me 15 minutes to sell my book. I did this positive kind of spiritual based rap song that I had at the time. It was real hot. He wanted me to do that song. He wanted me to talk about my book. He taught me how to do radio interviews. He taught me how to do television interviews. He taught me how to sell my book from the stage. He taught me how to sell my book doing a radio interview. He put me on the stage. I ended up getting an 11-part series with the Dream Network, which at the time was an international kind of like spiritual positive based network. I had a great relationship with Dr. Jones, who owned the network at the time. I ended up getting asked to come do a radio segment on his show on WNEW, Washington, D.C., CBS Radio. So, you're talking about one event that happened to me in my life because Les Brown stepped up to the plate and he saw something in me that was great. He knew it was there. And now he did what he could do to help me. I definitely sold every book I had that night. I got Bristol Myers Squibb as a client after that speaking engagement I did at Motivational Monday. At that point in my career, I had never had a Fortune 500 company. But I tell you what, with Bristol Myers Squibb, they hired me 6 consecutive times to do training. And I end up getting more money every single time they hired me. So you see, you've got to let the process start with your brand. You may not even know what it is right now. You're still struggling with a logo, with, some of you still going through an identity crisis about who you want to be as a speaker. I will tell you this, stay as close to who you are as you possibly can. Your personality is going to be good enough. The way you dress is going to be good enough. The topics that you deliver, if you deliver them right and follow the pattern that what we're teaching you on the Speaker Focus platform is going to be good enough. It's going to have that value. You need to understand that your brand has a lot to do with your self-esteem. Whatever's on the interior is going to be revealed on the exterior. So what am I telling you? I'm telling you that because I kept trying and I kept working and I kept understanding the processes, I kept studying the greatest speakers in the world. And one day it hit me. One day it hit me, excuse me. One day it hit me and came out of nowhere like a ton of bricks. Said, Kevin, you have got to stop chasing after these other speakers. You know, it's not about the quotes that you're saying from other speakers. It's not about the motivational part. See, in my mind, I didn't know anything about being a professional speaker when I first started. So, and I definitely didn't have any marketing skills. So therefore, these things were foreign to me and it didn't make a lot of sense. And I was really, really frustrated. So when Les came, by the time I got to Les, I was probably in my latter part of my 20s and things were starting to become more clear about the expectation of what I was supposed to be doing as a professional speaker and not a motivational speaker. Now, because I was stuck in that kind of purgatory for years. And all of a sudden I started to be around people like Les on a higher level. Like when you start getting around people that do this shit at a really, really high level, you can't escape, but some of that's going to rub off on you. And then you start doing a cross check. Okay, this is what I have versus what I don't have. This is what I'm good at versus what I need to build my level of skill up over here. This is what I'm absolutely horrible at. And then this is what I know I'm great at, right? And then it's looking yourself in the mirror, knowing that perhaps you don't have a logo, you don't have a brand. I mean, I went from Visions of Life and Associates. I went from the motivational supercharger of the 21st century, Kevin T. Robertson, America's leading focus expert. I went from the T is for touched by the grace of God. Then I used to just be Kevin Robertson. Right. And then I started to understand when I understood search functionality, then I remember what a lady told me at the bank, you know, when I used to work at the bank years ago, when I first got out of high school, one of 3 real jobs that I ever had in my life. I got fired from all of them. Now, she told me, she said, because they asked me my nameplate and I said, I want the T. I'm gonna put the T in my name, the T in my middle initial. So Kevin T. Robertson. So a lady rolls up on me at the bank, really nice woman. And she says, Kevin T. Robertson, what's the T stand for? I said, well, the T stands for Tremel. She said, Kevin Tremel Robertson. That sounds like a movie star's name. Now, you couldn't tell me anything. I wasn't even trying to make movies, but when that lady told me my name sound like a movie star, it gave me confidence at a very, very young age that maybe I should be proud of who I am and I should be proud of my name. I like it. I don't know a lot of people named Tremel. So Kevin T. Robertson. I started using it ever since that day. So what am I telling you? That when you type in you do a search engine or you do a search on the word Kevin, and it'll pop up the most popular Kevins in the world. It'll say Kevin Spacey, Kevin Bacon, Kevin Hart, Kevin Durant, Kevin Garnett, all of the most popular Kevins in the world. But Google says, wait a minute. That's not the Kevin you may be looking for, because I get searched thousands of times every single day, me and Austin. when they're checking out our brand, Google says, no, that's not, you're not being specific enough because the brand that you're looking for, but when you type in Kevin T, oh, it starts narrowing down the search. Still millions and millions of results. But when you type in the first letter from my last name, R, boom, the first three things that pop up is Kevin T. Robertson, motivational speaker, Kevin T. Robertson, net worth, Kevin T. Robertson, consultant, Kevin T. Robertson, talk show host, all of that stuff pops up there. All the pictures, all the videos, all the celebrity interviews, all the social media, every single interview that I've done, radio, TV, all of that shit pops up there. That's when you start. Google says, we know what brand you're searching for, right? Same thing happens with Speaker Focus. They know that everybody knows that Speaker Focus is me and Auston Troyer. I refuse to say the name of this company when I'm on the phone without giving credit where credit is due. So you got a cool white dude and a cool black dude have partnered together, treat each other like family. That's how you got Speaker Focus. See, branding is about following your gut. Branding is about maybe you don't have it all figured out yet, like a McDonald's logo or a Nike logo or a Starbucks or any of the most popular logos in the world. But they started out just like me and Austin did. They said, okay, look, we need a logo. We need something to represent who we are. The only thing I said was Speaker Focus, and Austin took it from there. He locked the domain name in. Next thing I know, he sends me over this logo design. I said, I love it. It's real clean. It's real simple. Let's do it. Right? And then boom, Speaker Focus was launched. So what I'm telling you is, when I first started out, I didn't have a logo. I didn't have a company name. I didn't have a website. I didn't know really what I wanted to do with my name. I told you I just used to be Kevin Robertson. That wasn't doing it for me. When I started to understand what branding was, I said, well, I got to be unique. So I said, Kevin T. Robertson. Now, that's a mouthful. And what I learned is over the years, I would go up to a celebrity and say, hey, I'm Kevin T. Robertson, host of the Kevin T. Robertson Show. Then I came up, no, Gregory A. Lewis, one of my top videographers from back in the day. Gregory said, yo, KTR. Now, I used to call myself KTR way back in the day when I used to rap, but I thought it was corny back then, right? But I tell you, when a female tells you that it's sexy, then you're going to think about it more. Or then when other people start calling it, and then when Gregory said it on the set, we were taping my TV show one day at DC TV. And Gregory says, he says, yo, KTR's not ready yet. Yo, ho, KTR's not ready. Now, when he said it, I don't know if he just didn't know what he was doing, but everybody started calling me KTR from that point in time. So now when I introduce myself, hey, I'm KTR, host of the KTR show. It's just an abbreviation of my name, but watch this. Everybody knows, even the people on the strategy call, because what do I have in my email signature? Kevin T. Robertson, in parentheses, KTR. My logo is KTR with the little man on the podium with the fingers pointing up in the air like that. Now, I said, okay, now watch this. The majority of the clients, when they say, Kevin, what would you prefer I call you? I said, just call me KTR like everybody else. Now, there's some people that call me Kevin that they don't want to get all up into the brand when they address me. That's fine. But one thing about it, when you think of Kevin T. Robertson, you think of KTR. When you think of Speaker Focus, you think of Auston Troyer and Kevin T. Robertson. Now, watch this. Just like when you think of McDonald's, you think of Golden Arches. You think of French fries. McDonald's is known more for their French fries than their hamburgers, but McDonald's is not really a fast food. They are a retail company. I apologize. A real estate company is really what they are. They have the most real estate holdings in the world out of any fast food chain. So when you start thinking about Starbucks, you think about an expensive cup of coffee. Why do people, I could drink a cup of coffee in the house, but it's the experience. I mean, listen, if you hang out with Austin, this dude drinks coffee after everything. I'm like, damn, Troyer, we just had breakfast. Bro, let's hang out at Starbucks and get some coffee. Damn, Troyer, when I go visit Austin, I gain 10 pounds every single time. I don't care if it's the healthy stuff. We're always eating, and then we're always going to have some damn coffee somewhere, right? So I got no problem with it. But when I tell you that people are addicted to the brand, and then when you get used to it, you don't even consider other brands because that brand has made an emotional connection with you. And now that creates brand loyalty. It's like the same people show up for our Zoom session every single week. The most loyal ones, the most dedicated ones, the ones that want to get the homework assignments done, the ones that really want to learn this game. It's a groundswell, ladies and gentlemen, of what's going on with Speaker Focus. And that's all because it's the way we deliver the content. Now, I'm going to jump in here and do a screen share, and I'm going to start with my presentation today. Because you got to understand what's going on here. I mean, this stuff, I'm not even playing around with this today when I tell you that you have got to learn to build a brand with some staying power. That's going to be the first lesson that we're going to learn today. Build a brand with some staying power. And in order to do that, in order to build a brand with some staying power, you got to make sure that it's constructed the right way. So let's get started. All right, now, we're talking about market differentiation. We're talking about market differentiation. Let me go back. I see Austin over there smiling. Market differentiation. You got to be thinking about where you're going to be in this business. And when COVID is over, look, I've spoken in ballrooms like that so many times in my career. It just feels so good when you walk up this staircase right here, and the podium is right there. Now, my particular style, there's no way that I'm standing behind the podium the whole time. I want to be down here walking the aisle where the people are, right? So what am I telling you, ladies and gentlemen? That if you're going to create some differentiation, you better be prepared to take shit over. Stop asking to live your dream and get out there and start living it. Start doing whatever you have to do. Listen, now is the time to stand up for everything you believe in. All the dreams that you've had, all the visuals that you've seen about being in a ballroom like this, being this keynote speaker at an event like this, doing a business training in this kind of environment. It's possible. It can happen. People really associate with the brands, but it's all on you to create some separation from you and everybody else, because yes, it is competition. But what I'm going to share with you today in the masterclass about creating market differentiation and just flat out dominating your niche, I'm going to break down the entire process of how you build a brand and construct it, and how should be no shame in your game about moving forward and being yourself. There's too many of you trying to be somebody else. There's too many of you trying to be the most popular speakers that you see. You consumed a lot of their videos and you're starting to sound like them, or you're using too many quotes from other speakers, and you need to stop. If you can't look yourself in the mirror and be proud of what you're doing as a speaker, and you are not confident in yourself, go somewhere and get some self-esteem. Because let me tell you something. What I'm getting ready to show you in this masterclass is going to help get you over the top when it comes to, am I doing it right or am I doing it wrong? Or should I be putting some of myself into the brand? Absolutely, you should be putting some of yourself into the brand. That's what's going to give you the biggest advantage. Because I see a lot of times, remember this, ladies and gentlemen, brands are often imitated, but they are impossible to duplicate. You can imitate it. You can try to come close as you want, but it's impossible to duplicate. You can't do it. I don't care how much of their information you try to steal. I have pharmaceutical companies that are on my roster that make billions and billions of dollars every single year. And when a lot of times when you're the speaker, they take you on a tour of the facility. Hanes brand is one of my clients. With their main office, they got this huge training facility in North Carolina. It's like a facilitator and professional speaker's dream. It's like you died and went to facilitation heaven. All the room is white. They got white chairs, white desk, the monitors at the desk. I mean, they got it all. They got the screen to drop down out the ceiling. This shit look like some stuff out of Star Wars. It's amazing. It makes you feel so good when you're in the environment. So you got to understand that you following behind these other speakers and trying to act like them is just diminishing your value. I mean, it's taking your stock way down. Think about your self-esteem and feel good about yourself. Stop beating yourself up over, oh, I'm getting old, or my hair is thinning, or I'm gray, or I'm not old enough, or I'm not good enough. How about you're not educated enough? How about you don't have enough resources? How about when you grow this business, let me tell you something. When you finish with all 6 modules, you're gonna have an S on your chest, Superman or Superwoman, and you're gonna feel so confident that you know what you're doing in the business now, that you're gonna be ready to take the stage and get on this platform right here and be making $5,000+ every time you go out to speak. How would that change your life if you just book 1 to 5 of these every single month? And 25 grand, by the way, is nothing to make as a professional speaker. You can do that with your eyes closed. Let's move forward. So when I say dare to be different, I mean, listen, we don't have to worry about anybody being a Kevin T. Robertson or Auston Troyer. Now, I'm going to get a little bit specific when I go through this process because I've been where you are right now. See, I've been the speaker that didn't have a brand. I toyed around with so many things, so many different looks. You see now I have a beard. Sometimes I have a goatee. You see on this picture right here, I got the clean face, right? Because this was a corporate photo shoot that I did, but I still figured out a way to incorporate what it is that I do best, which is have that microphone in my hand. Now, I absolutely am a microphone fiend. I remember when I went to the studio the first time I was 16 years old. R.I.P. Monty Wanzer. He managed Biz Markie for over 25 years. And I toured with them and recorded with Monty a lot when we were young. We were making records together. We were taking over the world together. And the first time I went to the studio, Monty was a sound engineer. And the first time I went to the studio with Monty, I had the headphones around my neck for like 3 hours prior to going to the studio. And I was just walking around with the microphone. I mean, I was so excited. I was so hyped. If you think I have energy right now, and I'm 50 pounds overweight, I'm gonna get ready to lose that. I'm gonna have more energy than I have even right now. It just kind of runs in my family, but you should have seen me when I was 16 years old. I mean, I literally could take off like a rocket and shoot through 2 floors and through the roof if I was on the ground level of a house. I mean, I was bouncing all over the place. And I learned that when I had that microphone in my hand, it was empowering to me. The first time I had a microphone in my hand when I was like probably 3 or 4 years old. My dad was a professional singer. And when I put that microphone in my hand, we used to make these tapes, whatever the hot song was, I was down there trying to learn it at 3 or 4 years old. By the time I got 5, you talking about now I'm starting school. I'm in plays. I'm in the choir. I'm modeling. I'm acting. I'm by the time I get to the 4th grade now, I'm picking up the trumpet. Then I get into the band. And then when the honey starts screaming my name, Kevin, Kevin, you look so nice. Oh, that was over for me. I said, I have got to be on this stage. And when I have this microphone in my hand, something special happens. So I always was associated with a microphone ever since I was little. And it's like when Michael Jackson, you put the microphone in his hand, he wasn't giving it up for nobody. So this is the reason why you see me now. Now watch this. I want to demonstrate something to you. And this is why I picked this particular photo right here. This is one of my favorite photo shoots that I did. This was years ago. And shout out to Stefan Azor. Stefan did a great photo shoot. Now, I have a vision in my head about what I want to do. Now, you can see right here that my pocket square in my jacket always matches with the tie, always. I had the blue, that was indigo blue pinstripe suit on with the white. It was just probably a white French cuff shirt. You can't see the French cuffs, but I like French cuffs. So when I'm doing this photo shoot, I'm like, okay, I hadn't had a photo shoot in a while with my face clean. So I just shaved all the hair off my face. Boom, my makeup artist came in, patted me down. Because I'm so sexy, I really don't need a lot of help. This is what you're dealing with when you're working with me. So she comes in, take the shine off. And Stefan says, what do you want to do? So I have like literally to that photo shoot, I bought, I believe it was 10 microphones. Because I got them all over my house, all different kinds of microphones. So he said, okay, what do you want to do? So I pick up 4 of the microphones and I wrap the cords around my neck. Because see, for me, it's the illustration. I could have just had 4 cordless microphones, which I have plenty cordless microphones as well. But it's something about the microphones around my neck. And now watch this. So when I would go cover celebrity interviews, and my crew would have their credentials or whatever, I didn't bother to wear the credential because I'm the host. Now, what do I have in my hand? The microphone. So you clearly know I'm here doing interviews. So now I developed a reputation where every time somebody seen me, do you have your microphone? Now, if I didn't have it, I would keep the microphone in my jacket pocket on the inside. Prior to me walking to the stage, I got the microphone right in my jacket pocket, or either I hold it in my hand. It's like I can give me my microphone and I'm okay. That is part of building a brand, ladies and gentlemen. And whatever is your brand, you have to show your identity through that brand. And pictures are a great way to illustrate your brand and everything that you're about. Now, how to create a differentiation strategy. Now, this is what we really got to talk about. Because what you really want to do here is you want to create a strategy that's different from everybody else. So you have to stand out in an increasingly saturated marketplace. Now, if you don't know that it's pretty competitive in the world of speakers, if you're doing 5,200 plus meetings every single day in our industry, that means there's plenty of work to go around. So I can't tell you the massive amount of people that want to learn how to speak. I mean, out of my 2,750 paid speaking engagements, over 30 different countries, traveling all across the United States and abroad through Canada. I mean, I've serviced literally hundreds of thousands of people. I can't even count how many people I've had in my audiences. Now, a large percentage of them will come over and ask me, KTR, how do you get in the speaking game? That would be the number one question they would ask me. How do I get in the speaking game? That means that they were inquiring about how they can build a speaking career. So that would be the question. So a lot of people want to learn how to speak. Not only that, people need leadership skills. People want to know how to be a better communicator. Do you realize that when you know how to communicate at a very high level, I'm talking world-class platform skills, your negotiation skills improve? There's not a situation I can get in. It's because of my age and it's because of my skill set. And when you really get good at this, I mean, the communication just allows you to just dominate everything that you're doing. The way you facilitate, the way you transfer knowledge, the way you teach, the way you present yourself as a subject matter expert, leading authority, trusted advisor, a specialist, a service provider, a consultant, a coach. Who are you? How do you create that differentiation? Well, you need a strategy. The first strategy is, how do you make yourself stand out in an increasingly saturated market? Let me go back to something. Because I'm going to tell you what these other speakers are going to try to do to you. Forget about these other speakers being your friend. Oh, but I just want to network, KTR. I just want to network with people. Let me tell you what happens when they know that you're hot. When they know you got a hot topic, I'm trying to tell you, the only speaker that would step up to the plate to help me that did not get intimidated was the one and only Les Brown. When everybody else saw me coming, they was like, oh, hell no. There is no way I'm giving him any part of the game with all that energy that he has so he can take some of my business. See, that's a defeat. See, this is how speakers think. What, you think you don't have some jealousy going on with this shit? You don't think you're going to have some people that's going to hate on you, but just because of the way you look? Now listen, I can't help it because I'm smooth. I can't help it because I'm blessed with beautiful looks. Thank my mother. I can't help it because my hair is styled different from any other speaker walking around on the face of the earth. I can't help it that I look good, I smell good, and I'm more prepared than everybody when I walk into the room. This is just what it is, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't forgot, I'm America's leading focus expert. I'm the foremost leading authority in the field of concentrating and organizing your vision and making it a reality. I'm the world's #1 speaker coach. I mean, learn to love it and get used to it because it's the best thing going, whether you like it or you don't like it. So let me explain to you what's going to happen. Why I had to go back to this photo shoot right here. Stefan caught the perfect smile on my face. Now, you might not be able to see my dimples because like when I got a beard on, but you can see him when I don't have no. Oh, and let me tell you something. That picture right there, that picture, that the look in my eyes, it's a sellable moment, ladies and gentlemen. And when you're working with your photographers, you need to have them capture the very essence of your personality. And I'm telling you right now, this picture does it. Now, I went back to this picture because I want to tell you how speakers in your space, in your own space, yes, I'm talking to your ass. You think they won't do it to you, but I'm telling you right now, out of hundreds and hundreds of these speakers, thousands of them that I met, yeah, some of them we're colleagues, but I'm telling you right now, I still got tons of them be trying to send me friend requests right now on Facebook. I get it, bro. You want to be number one like me, so you want to understand what it is that I'm doing. But you can forget about being number one in this space. I mean, if you even think about it, you better go back to sleep and get another dream, because this one is mine. Now, listen to me carefully. All your little punk ass Toastmasters friends, all your fake ass meetings that you're going to for National Speakers Association, and all these other kind of meetings that you're going to, and everybody is running you in circles, and everybody's talking about how good of a speaker they are, and everybody's puffing up their chest, talking shit about their credentials, because this is what speakers do, right? This is what they do. Now, it's a whole lot of people that they have very little knowledge about marketing. So as soon as you look like this, look, as soon as you look like you're prepared, look at this face. As soon as you look like you got your shit together, a cut above everybody else, they're going to figure out a way to shut you down or hate on you. You got to focus on you and building your brand and do what you do. Now, listen to this carefully, because I need you to hear me, because a lot of you are still thinking that these speakers are your friends. So I used to have people call me back in the day, especially when I was in my late 20s. And remember, part of my brand is I'm an entertainer. If you're not an entertainer, then that's not your thing. But I'm an entertainer first. Then I am an entrepreneur and a speaker coach, right? And a celebrity talk show host. But I'm an entertainer first. By nature, that's what I've always done. So my friends, some of my speaker friends, some of my associates, they would call me up and be like, hey, KTR, I noticed, man, that, I never see you with the same suit on. I never see you with the same clothes on. Why is that? Am I missing something? Bro, yeah, you may be missing something. I don't know. I like to wear different stuff. Do you ever see a top celebrity in anything the same time? When they go to an award show, they don't wear the same dress on the award show. They don't wear the same thing on the award show every single time. They change it up. They perform in different things. I'm the same exact way. That's how I was taught. That's how I was raised. This speaking is like entertaining. It's a performance for me. This isn't a lecture. This is a performance. So if you want to understand how to build a brand, I'm telling you, I'm giving you the strategy behind how I constructed brand KTR and how me and Austin constructed Speaker Focus. Now, I'm telling you that when the other speakers start asking you what you're doing, or watch this, I used to do these things called speaker showcases. It would be like 5 sets of 5 speakers. So they would always, whenever I did a speaker showcase, they would put me on last. Because if you put me on first, I'm going to make every other speaker pay and wish that they hadn't. So then the people that was running the showcases, they said, okay, KTR he's always the best. I can't help this, that I come in more prepared than everybody. So they start putting me on at the end so I could close out the show. But when the speaker started to be on the stage with me, here's what started happening. Females started wearing glitter jackets. They started dropping Mentos inside of a Coke bottle, bringing on props and stuff, because they saw me bringing on props. After I spun the ball on my finger for the speaker showcase in New York, I just shut the whole place down. The 1,500 people in the ballroom, they were in amazement that I had all these skills. I had a baseball, a bat, a football, and a basketball. And I labeled all of the balls. I labeled them a resource. resources, research is what I lay, and then I gave them away in the audience, and I did my talking points off of that. So these other speakers are looking, and it's very competitive. So while they were looking at me do my thing, they were hating on me in the background. So see, the same shit that they're going to criticize you about is the same thing that's going to make your brand go all the way to number one. I'm sitting here telling you right now, I haven't had it perfect, but I did what I felt. And that's what I want you to do. If you're feeling like you need to put something on, then put it on. I've tried all different kind of color schemes. I've tried, you know, some slacks with the 1.5 inch cuff with a shirt with the tie with no vest. I've tried the vest with no jacket. I've tried the whole 3-piece suit, but eventually I'm coming up out of that jacket, because I'm going to throw the jacket to the side of the stage and I'm going to start performing. I'm going to roll my sleeves up and I'm going to start going in here helping these people and delivering value. Now, why am I telling you that? Listen to me carefully and I'm going to move forward. Watch these other speakers. They're backstabbers. They're haters of the first order. Whenever they're in your space and they see you coming and you got your shit together, I'm telling you right now, they are not going to lift a finger to try to help you, but that's okay. That's what you got Speaker Focus for. We don't give a damn whether or not we getting some outside help from some speakers. Are you kidding me with this? But you better listen to me, because I've been through it all. See, I don't have to worry about what all these other speakers are doing. They got to be worrying about what I'm doing. I'm the person who they're sending a direct message to. I'm the person that they're sending an email to. Oh, KTR, man, you know, I see your brand and what you're doing. Yeah, keep looking. Keep looking, bruh. Keep looking, because it ain't nothing you can do about it. When I tried to be nice to you and partner with you, and I tried to sit down and network with you or give you some skills, you took a dump in my face. But you thought I was going to put it in, you thought you was going to take a dump in my hat. I was going to put it on my head with a smile on my face. But see, here's what you got to understand about Kevin T. Robertson. I don't never give up. I'm going to keep on evolving. I'm going to keep trying shit that I feel is going to work for me. And then I test. See, here's the deal. I've tested my brand in front of hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people globally, over 30 different countries. My workbook's been translated in over 30 different languages. I work with sign language, multicultural, hearing impaired interpreters. My shit works because it came out of this mind. And then I wasn't afraid to go out there and put it to the test. And some stuff I tried over the years didn't work. But let me tell you something. You're going to find your way just like I did. So you got to stand out in a saturated marketplace. Yeah, it's a lot of speakers in this shit. There's a whole lot of people trying to make it to the NBA too. But the best ones do. Now you take that. If it's a 1% of people that make it in the NBA, now you got more roster spots in football. You got more roster spots in baseball, so it's a bigger chance. But let me tell you something. For you to stand out, you got to give the market something to recognize. So they say, oh shit, that's some shit I ain't never seen before in my life. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of brand I'm talking about. Why don't you try being yourself? And then maybe you can get to the top of your niche. Put the time and the research to understanding your competitors. I mean, this one right here, ladies and gentlemen, number 2, I can't even tell you how this one alone will absolutely change your life. Now, what am I talking about the competitors? Yes, am I talking about doing research on every single person in your space? I used to have the top 50 to 100 leadership speakers bookmarked on my browser. And I would visit their websites all the time. I knew when all of them made changes. I knew when they came up with new topics, if they had their speaking schedule on there, if they came out with a new book, if they changed a new word. Listen, this is how much influence that you have. I know for a direct fact, I've seen them do it. So I'm a newbie on the block, but I came in talking about focus this and organization this and clarity this and the clarity of focus and focus on leadership and focus. That's my shit, okay? But you know how many times somebody saw me speak and the very next day I seen focus tatted all over their website? Now, damn it, how the hell do you think that I know that y'all took my word and put it on your website? How do you think I know that? I'm not gonna call any of y'all out. But that's some punk shit to do, okay? Get the ideas out of your own mind. I've seen it so many times. Because see, when speakers don't have an identity, they're going to try to latch on to the hottest thing. And when you're the hottest thing, they're going to try to latch on to you. Try to steal it, bro. It's only one Kevin T. Robertson. You can forget it. It's only one you. So I don't care if you try to take some of my topics, or you're going to try to use a word or two here and there. They try to jack some of me and Austin's copy on our Facebook ads. But at the end of the day, are you delivering service at a high level? Because that's what it really boils down to. Another thing is you have to define your distinct look, feel, and soul of your company. I'm talking about it has to come from inside. Whatever's on the interior is going to be revealed on the exterior. Do you have a look that you want to present? Then get it out there and don't be afraid of it. Stop going to so many people asking them, does this look right? Does this look right? Put the suit on, create the topics, put it out there in the marketplace, and then let the market dictate, and then iterate. Let the market dictate, and then iterate. Let the market dictate, and then iterate. Me and Austin are changing stuff every single day. Minor adjustments. Let's go. I'm the only one that's going to talk to you like this, so I have to keep doing my job. Market differentiation. Or do you want to be a robot? I want you to look at this illustration. Is this what you want to be? Huh? You want to be chasing behind all the rest of the other speakers, or you want to be this little rubber ducky right here, right? Now, same. Ooh, shit, different. Ooh, the rubber ducky is different. Same. Ooh, different. I'm telling you that the differentiator is your personality. It's the soul. It's the spirit. It's the very essence of who you are as a person. Now, let's talk about what is brand differentiation. Let's talk about the differentiation strategy that reflects the things that separate you from similar competitors in your market space. Now, remember that's a lot of things that go along with that. That's your ideology. That's your approach. That's your style. That's the way you present yourself on the platform. It's the basic advice that you give to people every single day. It's the way you walk, right? It's everything about you. And you have to be proud of who that person is, because that's the very thing that's going to get you over the hump, to have people recognize who you are. Now, anything short of doing a publicity stunt, which some people do sometimes to gain attention, there's enough that you can do with your brand. And I'm going to start tackling some of these bullets in a second. There's a lot of things you can do about your brand but this is a strategy I'm going to share with you in this masterclass about exactly what I want you to do. I'm going to open up the bullets. I'm going to break each one of them down so you have a clear understanding of what you need to do with the differentiation strategy. Remember, there is a strategy behind this. One of the biggest strategies is your personal and professional appeal. As you see me again with the microphones in my hand. Now, I believe that was a different corporate photo shoot that I did. And that microphone, that particular shoot was just black and white. Everything about that shoot was just black and white, because I was so stylish with color. And for me, that's different. That's really conservative for me to do a black and white. But I tell you this, I had to have a little flair with my pocket square. So what I did was I wrapped a silk black and a silk white pocket square. I wrapped it in each other and I tucked it down in my jacket and puffed it up to make it look like a flower. Now, I didn't know it was going to turn out like this, but you don't know until you do it. But that's me, right? Now I didn't know. I wasn't planning on grabbing those 3 microphones like that either. I wasn't planning on grabbing those cordless microphones. I wasn't planning on pointing. All I was doing was moving, and boom, he got a money shot. I'm like, that's me right there. See, that's me. So I'm going to use that shot. So let's talk about the strategy behind the brand and why you have to do certain things. What is different about you? The only way, ladies and gentlemen, to convince your prospective customers to decide to buy from you, hire you, book you to speak instead of going to the competitors. And a lot of them is the same old, it's the same tired shit that's out there in the market. The only way that they're going to go to you instead of your competitors is you have got to make sure that there's something different about you that appeals to your market. So now the real question is, what is it about you that appeals to your market? I want to get Troyer in here real quick. And I want to talk about Troy. I'm gonna make you the host if you need to show anything. Austin, you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Austin, give me some feedback about, because your perspective about competitors is really interesting to me, right? When I talked about competition to Austin one time, Austin was like, bro, we don't have to worry about what they're doing, right? Austin, elaborate a little bit more on competition versus what your brand should be doing to have the connectivity with their target market.
Yeah, so competition and studying them is important. You don't want to waste too much time on it, because what'll happen is you'll fall into the trap of doing exactly what we told you not to do in this training, which is copying them. If you're constantly looking at your competitors' websites, their brand, naturally, their values, their perspectives, their strategies are going to be in your subconscious all the time.
Yep.
And now everything they do is going to get merged in with your brand, and you don't want to dilute your brand with your competitors. You want your main focus as a speaker, as a consultant, should be standing out and having a very differentiated brand and approach and values. And actually, we adopted our strategy from Jeff Bezos, who is CEO of Amazon. He's the number one, wealthiest person in the world. And actually, I'll grab a quote from what he says. He says, it's much more effective to be customer obsessed rather than competitor obsessed. So that's one of the main things we do is, when we fall back into the trap of starting to think about our competitors, we say, okay, our competitors, they're not beating us right now. Why do we need to go look at what they're doing? They're not getting better results for their customers than us. So we need to go back to our customers and focus on their pain points, focus on what they need, and just derive, all of our value and our strategies from their problems, not our competitors' stuff, and constantly be, the trailblazers, be the innovators in our space, in our brand. And Jeff Bezos says, if you're competitor focused, you have to wait until there's a competitor doing something. But being customer focused allows you to be more pioneering in your space. And so that's the main reason. I mean, you still need, when you're first starting out, it's good to understand what your competition's doing. If you read the book, I can't remember what it's called. It's Made in America by Sam Walton, who's a ex-CEO of Walmart. He started Walmart. He would go to the extent of going into Target, Kmart, and measuring the space between their aisles and just completely dissecting what they're doing to see how he can innovate and improve what he's doing in his stores. And so it's good to do when you're in the beginning, but you need to get to a point quickly. Once you start getting established, you start making some money, stop looking at what other people are doing and just stay focused on your competitor or your customers, what they want, and stay focused on just being you and what you're best at and what your brand's about, what your values are. I think that's the big thing. So competition is important, studying them, but don't become obsessed with them. It's really easy to do that. It's easy to, like what Kevin did back in the day was like have all your competitors' sites in a bookmark and constantly checking them out. And that's good in the beginning, but make sure you quickly pivot once you get a foothold in your market. Quickly pivot to being a pioneer rather than someone that copies what other people are doing.
Absolutely. I appreciate it. Thanks for chiming in. So we're going to move on to the next slide. And what I want to go to is, how strong is your value proposition? because what's going to make you different in the marketplace, and Austin just touched on it, it's, we're customer centric. You know, there's a reason why we follow Jeff Bezos, his model. There's a reason why we have all these digital marketing mentors like Sam Ovens and Alex Becker. There's a reason why Austin studies the things that he studied. He does research every day. He's looking at videos. He's always sending me stuff, bro. Check this video out right here. If I'm doing something wrong, which I make a lot of mistakes. We're iterating all the time. You cannot be afraid to make the mistakes. If I'm doing something that's not indicative of where we need to be or staying on track or something with our brand, then Austin is very quick to tell me, yo, bro, don't do that. Do more of this. And it's my job to do it, and vice versa. When I have to make some CEO moves or I have to talk about curriculum, and, we give each other a lot of autonomy to make decisions about the tech on his side and then the speaker things on my side. But what it really boils down to is your value prop. And we call it a value proposition. So what is the value that's in your company's messaging? And let me tell you something. At the end of the day, forget about all the theatrics that you see with me and forget about the entertainment value that I provide for you every single week. That's just what I know how to do as a presenter. At the end of the day, forget about all of that shit. Are you learning something? Do we get results for our coaching students? And at the end of the day, when you do that, and here's one thing that I learned one of my really early meetings with Austin. He said, bro, none of that shit matters unless we getting results for our students. And I had that locked into the front of my brain because that's how I deliver service when I was on tour for many, many years. Now, I needed to learn how to do it on the digital platforms. And that's why I listen to Austin, because what I learned was that these are systems and these are processes that I had to follow that I was not used to. But because of Austin, I got used to them. And then the value proposition is how you deliver value. What is the goal? What's the features of your product? Like, what are the little finite details inside of what you deliver that makes your proposition different, right? It's the way you deliver the customer service experience. See, this is why, remember what I told you, brands are often imitated, never duplicated. You just can't recreate what me and Austin created. It's the unique personality that he has along with mine. This is why we decided to be partners, because we knew we could come together and create something that wasn't there. There's never been a platform like this before, but this is all about two unique personalities and skill sets coming together with one goal in mind. How do we get the features of our product to the marketplace and get it to speakers so it's easy for them to understand? And we're creating an experience for you. This is a movement, and it's the value prop. It has to have value to your customers, and that's the only thing that matters. Now, when Austin tells you that we're following the Jeff Bezos model, you can believe it, because we got a goal of being a multi-billion-dollar brand, and it's a blue ocean, and we know we can do it. I mean, this is how insane that we think. These guys actually think they're going to be billionaires. You damn right. I suggest you start studying this stuff, and when you have the access to the right kind of information, millionaire, man, that's an insult. That's pocket change. It's a whole pool of money out there floating around in this ecosystem, ladies and gentlemen. And me and Austin have a stranglehold on this industry. Now, we haven't even really got good at it yet. It's what you don't understand. And when we do, that's when you're going to see, in order to become a billionaire, you have to create a product that helps massive amount of people. And people have a problem with communication, and people want to be better leaders, and people damn sure want to learn how to speak. And the amount of people, I can't even tell you, it's just millions and millions of people that want to learn how to get into the speaking game. But most of them lack value. And what we're teaching you on our platform is you have got to provide massive value. I tell you, the differentiator is that when we first started to put our brand out there and we really thought about it, And this was very well thought out. I said, okay, we don't need to be standing in front of jet airplanes. We don't need to be showing the accoutrements of our success. I didn't want to show you what kind of car I had and any of that kind of stuff. I felt that it was already being done. I felt like I needed to take a different approach. I said, okay, if I'm going to be a person of color, number one, it's going to be the spokesperson of this company, then I got to make sure I have my stuff trumped up tight from beginning to end. So I just started to deal with the facts of my speaking career. And me and Auston talked about launching a whole lot of other funnels. We could have easily launched a digital marketing funnel. We could have easily launched a real estate funnel, which I'm also a subject matter expert in. Nationally, I've sold over, bought and sold and flipped over 600 real estate investment portfolios. I know how to make money when it comes to real estate, and Auston asked me, you think we should do that? I didn't want to get lost in with Grant Cardone. I didn't want to get lost in with a whole lot of other real estate. I didn't want to get that scammerson feel. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to take the thing I know how to do best, which is being a professional communicator, and we need to stick to speaker coaching. Now, we knew that what I had was a very unique market position. We knew that going into the coaching. This is no surprise, ladies and gentlemen. Troyer, jump back in here real quick, please.
Yes, sir.
Troyer, if you could do me a favor, bro, if you could break down as simple as you can and how you always know how to do it. If you could now act like we're not partners right now, right? I want you to go back to our first meeting. So I want you to tell them what you saw in me, that the value prop was different from anything else that you had seen in the marketplace. I want you to go back and tell them what you saw in my skill set and how you saw that fitting into the marketplace.
Yeah, so there's a book called 0 to 1, and it's by Peter Thiel, who was ex co-founder at PayPal, and now he has Palantir, which is about to IPO. It's a multi-billion-dollar company. He had a couple other. He was the first investor in Facebook as well. And so what he teaches in that book is the way to really get growth quickly in any business, and the way to build $1 billion company, whether it's a speaking business, whether it's a consulting business, tech company. He said the best way to do it is to become a monopoly. And you don't need to be a monopoly in a massive industry to make a lot of money. You need to monopolize a small niche. And so what you want to do is essentially, one second here, I'm going to share my screen.
Mm-hmm. School them, Troy.
So what you want to do, if we look at a monopoly as, so let's say we have a niche. Let's call it your professional speaking in for colleges. So the speaking industry as a whole would be this outer circle here. This is just general speaking market. Rather than going after, or we could call it, let's just say leadership speaking. So rather than trying to go to brand or market yourself as a leadership speaker only, without any other specific language or marketing specificity, what you would do instead of going after this big concentric circle here, it's going to be a lot harder to make any impact by going after this. You first start very specific and become a monopoly in this. And gradually, as you monopolize the smaller niches, so after you did, colleges, let's say you went out another circle, after you really monopolize that. I mean, colleges, if you monopolize college speaking, you'd be a multimillionaire. So it's like that will take a long time in itself. But then you can start to broaden out. Now you could go, all schools. So now you're going to high schools. Now you're going to elementary schools, like all different schools. So so essentially what he teaches is you want to get very specific about a niche in the beginning. And that's what we teach in the program in weeks 1 and 2. You want to niche down in something very specific. And I think this is the best way to grow any business and any brand, is to monopolize something very specific. And that's what we're doing now. We started with professional speakers, and we're starting to broaden out as we start dominating our space.
Mm-hmm.
Does that answer your question, Kevin?
Yeah, and also too, if you could just add another one into it, like if you could get real specific, like talk to them like not like we're partners right now. The very, very beginning, like our first meeting, when I showed you what I did, and you understood it, help them understand what your process was to see where that was going to be right there inside of that niche. What did you see in my skill set or see in my experience to know that that was possible to get there?
Yeah, I guess I just had basically you just want to create kind of you just want to see if it checks off a few things. So good niche to market yourself. So what you want to do is hit on these different things. So whether or not if you're about to brand yourself as a specific speaker for a specific industry, you want to ask yourself a few questions. How crowded is that niche? So if you just said, I'm a motivational speaker, well, that's a very, very crowded space. So the answer to that question is, it's way too crowded. So that is not a niche you want to go after. And for us, it was, when I was looking at, the possibilities of what businesses we wanted to start together, we both said, okay, real estate, creating a program, creating a product to help people in real estate, very crowded market. So we said, okay, no, we're not doing that. Way too crowded. Mm-hmm. Now, another question you want to ask yourself, how big is the market? You don't want to go too, you don't want this circle to be too small where it's, only 1,000 total customers in the market. That's just way too small. Even if you monopolize that, which it'll be very hard, because you're not going to be able to get every single customer in that market. You're going to only be able to get, a small percentage of them, even as a monopoly, because it's just how numbers work. So let's say you're only able to get 20% of 1,000 customers in a total market. It's not a very thriving business. It can work, but you want the market to be somewhat bigger. You don't want it to be too massive. So how big is the market? For us, is professional speakers, people that want to do speaking as a business. Definitely a big enough market size, but it's not too big where it's going to be too hard to monopolize. So I think those two questions are a good starting point. Like, what's a good place to start? And when we were looking at our possible options, we just wanted to make sure that we fell in between these two here. And if you can answer these two questions, you'll have, and you can find a niche that fits in with those two, you'll be good. And I think to add a final one, it's like, what's your past experience? Do you have, deep domain expertise? If you're going into a completely new market where you have no past experience, you don't have any past results, you're not an insider, it's going to be a lot more difficult to really get a stranglehold on the market. Now, you can definitely do it still, but you need to tell yourself, okay, well, if I'm going into leadership speaking in the tech industry and you don't know anything about tech, you better get ready to spend 10 hours a day for the next 6 months, really, really training on tech to be able to tackle, that niche. So I think you need to have some past experience to be able to really dominate a niche, and you need to have some past success in that. But it's not possible. It is possible to not have that. Like, Elon Musk, for example, he wasn't in automotive, but he was able to take his tech experience, bring in the right, bring the right executives in automotive industry that had that experience and dominate that. Now he's, one of the top automotive companies. So it is possible to bypass that, but you need to understand that it's going to take a lot of time, or bring in someone else that is a subject matter expert. Like for us, for speaking, it was like, I wasn't a speaker. I couldn't have started that business myself without really spending a lot of time learning it. But I said, oh, that's why Kevin and I are business partners. He has a lot of experience and success in speaking. So it answers that third question there. So if you can answer these three questions and get a yes, for each of these, it's a good niche to pick, and it's a good brand to start.
Absolutely. I appreciate it, boss.
Yep.
Well, this is the reason why. Let me go back. I think I'm still on the screen share, if I'm not mistaken. Let me go share the screen. Yes. So, wait a minute. Troy, for some reason, I'm not seeing my screen, bro.
Okay, we can see your screen right now.
Okay, cool. All right, no problem.
Can you, so you can't see the presentation?
Oh, wait a minute.
Click on the Chrome icon at the bottom of your screen.
Okay, I got it back up. Can
Cool.
you see the presentation now?
Yes, you can.
All right, cool. All right, so let's go on to, brand building. And Speaker Focus was created for people that want to thrive, obviously, in the speaking industry. So when you start thinking about, I think about diversity, I think about women's empowerment, I think about people of color, I think about the underdog, I think about people that need an opportunity to somebody to hear their voice, to hear their story. I think about all of that kind of stuff. So, we don't have a brand that is that discriminates. Your brand, you want to be able to get it to, especially if you're going to a specific niche, you want to create opportunity for people through your brand. And again, the more opportunity you can create, the more value you can create, the more you over deliver when it comes to the service experience, the more educated you are, the more resources you have to offer. You have to understand something. The customer service nationally, right? Well, internationally right now is right around 42.3%. That's past pitiful and unacceptable. So if you have the service experience is lacking, especially when it comes to everybody wants to do things online right now. You really can't get a person on the phone. Well, one thing I learned is that you can't get these other speaker coaches on the phone. You can't get somebody at a very high level like me in this industry. You cannot get them on the phone, number one. Number two, you can't get somebody on the phone with the balls or guts enough to tell you like I'm going to tell you. Now, that is a big differentiator in the marketplace. Now, how do I know this? Me and Austin, number one, we've tested every single thing that we do. There's not a piece of data that Austin doesn't test. I don't care if it's from a script, from what I say to him, if sales are low, if I need to do something else, bro, we analyze everything. At the end of the day, what it comes down to is that I have a very unique way in which I teach this business. And because of that, that's not the only thing, but that is one of the things that make Speaker Focus stand out. The other part is because of the system that Austin has created. Now, when I first met him, and we weren't partners, so we were just networking, but he was schooling me on what needed to happen, and I quickly identified with I don't need this guy. I don't need to be his client. I quickly identified we need to be partners. Like I saw it, he saw it really early, and now this was before it was Speaker Focus. It was just one-on-one coaching. It was just KTR one-on-one coaching. Boom, we're gonna put that out there. And then Austin came up with the idea to turn it into a movement, and this is what you have right now. I mean, when I tell you it's an avalanche and a freight train that is, I'm talking going at a really, really high rate of speed and with no brakes on it, you can't stop it. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we'll talk about moving this brand thing forward. What is going on? Okay. All right. The next thing is think about these three major factors when you're building a brand as well as we're moving forward. Think about it. Is it authentic? Is the very definition of authenticity coming through in everything that you do? Is it real? I'm not talking about no fraudulent shit. People can't stand that. And they're going to be able to see right through it. In every single thing you do is if it's not real, they're going to be able to see it. So the first question is, when I put together this deck, is it authentic? Is it relevant? Is it germane to what they need to accomplish? Does it matter to them? I'm talking about your customer. Remember, I always talk to every one of you on our platform about looking at it through the eyes of your conference coordinator, your meeting and event planner, your key decision maker who writes the check, the chair or committee member, the person directly responsible for purchasing professional speaking services. Is what I'm saying relevant to them and their needs? Is it helping them out? Is it helping them do their job better? Is it helping them become a better leader? And another thing, the things that I'm requesting of our platform, is it an actionable item? Can they take action on it immediately? Can they get a clear takeaway after they hear me speak? Whether or not that's virtually, whether or not that's on site, whether or not that's hearing me as a speaker coach, can they take action? That's all that matters at the end of the day. Whatever you're teaching them, is somebody going to take action on it? Remember, you are not a real leader. They will not identify with your brand unless you teach them how to be real leaders. You're not a real leader unless you teach other people how to do what you do, teach them how to do it, and also teach people how to earn money. I don't know how you can call yourself a real leader if you don't do that. So are you authentic? Is it relevant? And are people willing to take action on your brand? Now, let's go over some other things, the components of the differentiation strategy. Number one, you got to ask yourself, when it comes to naming, they have these stadiums have naming rights to the stadium. You see AT&T Stadium, or you see FedEx Field, or you see, these are naming rights. So naming, the first thing you want to say in your name is, who are you? Who are you? What's the very definition of who you are? Who are you? What are you trying to present to your target audience, to your target buyer? Do they know, can they see exactly who you are? I mean, that's your principles. That's everything you stand on. That's your belief system. That's your ideology. That's your approach. That's the way you dress. It's everything. Ask yourself this when it comes to naming. Can your name be shorter? Because the shorter, the better. That's why I came up with, instead of introducing myself to all these celebrities as Kevin T. Robertson, I would just say, hey, I'm KTR. Hey, KTR, what's going on? And it just kind of caught on fire. I didn't know what I was doing when I did it. When Gregory said it in the studio, it just kind of sounded good. And then everybody else on my staff started calling me KTR. And then all of a sudden, boom, then my clients call me that. So it is what it is. Think about this when it comes to naming. See, naming is very, very important when it comes to building a brand. Is your name memorable? In other words, when somebody says it, is it memorable? Does it sound like it's made to be put up in lights? Speaker focus. See, I don't know. When I said it to Austin, they just had a ring. He was like, damn, bro, I love it. Austin opens up his phone and goes in and reserves the domain name. And that's literally how Speaker Focus was born. Now, is it manageable? Is the name manageable? In other words, are you going to get tongue-tied when you say the name? Your company name or your brand should be manageable. And is it global? Does it have that big feel to it? Because let me tell you something, that's the things that people connect with. So those are the things you want to think about when it comes to branding. The components of a differentiation strategy, The first thing is going to be your naming. Let's go to the next thing is the actual branding itself. It's what is at the heart of the company. Austin just told you about a lot of our core values. We follow a lot of principles that Jeff Bezos and Amazon does. Austin, at the top of the year, he sends over some brand new goals. And Troy, jump in here again real quick, bro, because I want them to know what this is. Could you share with them what that thing that you learned from Sam that you put together? That's like the core values or the core messages you focus on every single day for Speaker Focus.
Oh yeah, let me share my screen here.
These are all the things.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say the values or what you believe in. It's also where you want to go in the future and many other things. So
can you see my screen?
Share that with you. These are the principles that he came up with. It's sort of like a vision and mission statement. I want to share with you. Go ahead, Troy.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you look at every massive brand, they all have their principles and their core values. Principles is just another word for core. Their core values of the brand defined clearly on their website usually. So if we go over to Amazon principles, we can see on Amazon's site they have their leadership principles, and this is what makes up your brand. It's how these are defined, and every decision made in the company must fall under these. And big brands will drill this into the executive team and make sure everyone understands these at the company, because this is how you make decisions. And so what I recommend, and this is how all of your brand is built. This is how you communicate through your brand. This is how you do all of your marketing. And so what we've done here is just we look at this every single day. And if there's ever a decision to be made, that is a tough decision, we always come back to these and say, okay, what would we do according to our brand and our core values? And so we're going to share a template after this as well, where you can define these for your brand. But essentially, you want to start with, what is the problem that your company is solving? For speakers, it's going to depend on each of the niches that you're in, whatever speaking niche that you're serving. But essentially for us, it's, public speaking is hard and terrifying for most people. And then you want to have your mission. You want your mission to be very bold. You want it to be a little bit specific, but still broad, where you can, it can be interpreted in a couple of ways. So for us, it's to make simple and effective education products that anybody can use to become better public speakers. If we can solve that mission, which it's going to take a very long time, to help everyone in the world that is interested in becoming better speakers, help them actually do that, would be $1 billion company. So you want to define your mission, and your mission should be set out to just solve the problem you stated here. And then you want to define some principles for your company. Now, you want to make sure that your number one your first two principles are, they're constantly marketed, and you communicate them regularly through your content. So, if we just went like that, we crossed all those out. These two are the top ones. For us, it's focusing on the customer rather than the competitor. Just like Amazon, just like a lot of the top $1 billion companies. So you want to have your first two core values, your first two principles be the most important, the ones that you talk about most, and the ones that really shine in your company. And then for us, it's just make great products, make the best products in the marketplace for what we do. And then, the other ones we have, these still are important. They're just not as important as these, taking the long view rather than the short view. With that, an example would be, okay, if we had a decision where we would maximize profit from our customer in the short term, say like, in the first, in the 6-month time frame, which could hurt the customer's relationship with us in the long term, we would choose, okay, we're not going to do that decision. We're going to prioritize the long-term relationship with our customer. Simplify. So we don't, whenever we're faced with a decision where we can make something complex, or we could just keep it simple. We're going to always choose simplicity. Make bold bets. That is essentially, if we have a decision where we could do it small or big, we're always going to choose the big, risky bets rather than the small ones. Innovate, constantly pushing the needle on our industry, the services and products we deliver, just constantly pushing the needle and innovating, always leading with technology, so that we don't get disrupted. If we're constantly disrupting ourselves, innovating ourselves, we will always be thriving in the marketplace. Have disgustingly high standards. So this goes for us, it's just natural, but for anyone that comes on our team, if they put out half-assed work, it doesn't cut it, and they're going to get fired. So everyone needs to understand, only people that come into our company are touching anything that, our products or customers, they need to have insanely high standards, like top 1% standards. Otherwise, we don't want them working with us. Do one thing better than anyone else. So there's not enough time in the day. You don't have enough time in your life to try to master a lot of things. For us right now, we're really focused on speaking. And so you want to do one thing better than anyone else. So really dominate your space. Don't be trying to wear a lot of hats. Don't try to be tackling a bunch of different businesses. When you become a multimillionaire, a billionaire, you can start hiring executives for all your different ventures. But for now, stay focused on one thing and do it better than anyone else. And then only teach what has been tested. We're not going to put out material for our customers unless we've battle tested it, because that we realize there's a lot of people that see the stuff we put out and they trust us. The number one thing you have in your business is trust. And if we're putting out stuff we haven't tested and people are making decisions on it in their speaking businesses, and they're wasting a lot of their time on stuff that actually doesn't work, we realize that's a major flaw in what we're doing. So we only put out stuff that we've tested and we know that works. And so that's any decision that comes across, hey, let's just throw out some new training. We first ask ourselves, okay, well, have we tested this? Does it actually work? And if we haven't, then it's not going out. It's not going to our customers. So those are kind of the principles that we operate on right now. And what you'll see is Jeff Bezos defined all of his core values right before they IPO'd. And for 20 plus years, those core values have not changed. He has kept those same core values, those principles for the 20 plus years. And Steve Jobs said this too, your core values of your company won't change much. They may change a little bit the way you word them, but you need to spend a lot of time thinking about what you really value in your company and define it clearly early on, because that'll be the bedrock that, your hiring decisions, your marketing decisions, operational decisions are all going to be, stress testing on. So make sure you spend a lot of time defining these things here, because it's super important.
Appreciate that, boss.
Yep. Hey, Kev, you got a couple questions here in the chat.
Okay. All right. Let me jump to them right now. I don't know why I'm seeing a color wheel. I've never seen that before. Austin, can you tell me what the question is, and I can address it? For some reason my screen is black and I'm getting a color wheel that's on there, so I don't know what this buffering is about.
Okay. Let's see here.
Because I can't see it.
Okay, Tina Marie's question got answered.
Okay, what was her question?
So her question was, how do you create your brand / differentiation from scratch? Let's say you're starting a new business. How do you create that from the get-go?
Okay. Did she say we answered the question already through the slides, or does she want to know that?
Yeah, she said we answered it.
Oh, got it. Okay. All right, no
Hey,
problem.
Kev, you're freezing now.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, bro.
Okay.
I've never seen that before with that color wheel buffering like that before.
Okay. What we can do is take a break. If you want to turn your computer off and turn it back on and just join
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, you want me to just well, how do I leave without cutting everybody else off?
Because I'm a host as well, so
Oh,
it'll
okay, I
just
got it. So I don't know, maybe I could hit escape.
we'll just hold the button on your
Ah,
top right. Hold that down for 5 seconds or so.
I'll come back.
Cool.
Sorry about that, everybody.
Hey, everybody, give us like 5 minutes. Kevin's going to be restarting his computer and then jumping back on. Thanks for your patience. All right, Kev, we can see
Hey,
you.
Troy, I'm back.
Okay, excellent. So we have a couple more. Can you see the chat?
Yes, I definitely see the chat. Okay.
So if you want to, Wayne had a thought. If you want to unmute him and
Yes, let's see. Wayne, okay. Where's Wayne? Okay. I got you. Wayne, can you hear me?
Here. Yes,
Wayne.
I can hear you. Yes,
Yes,
I can
sir.
hear you. Hi.
How you doing, Wayne?
I'm doing good. I'm doing very good. I'm doing very good. And this is a great session. Great
Thank
session.
you.
Okay. I guess what I let me see here. You can hear me?
Yes, sir. I hear you fine.
Okay. Okay. I guess when you were going through, I'm trying to remember back where it was when you were let me see here. Let me find the right spot because I had a couple questions, but there was one. Okay. When you were going through a certain part, when you're building your brand,
Yes, sir.
and you were saying, is what I'm saying, is it authentic? You think about major factors. Is it authentic? Is what I'm saying going to be relevant? Does it matter to the customer when I'm there speaking what I'm saying, or and so I'm thinking, my note was that I said that some of these things, these clarity can be stated in the bullet points under the title of your signature program. Once you have the name of your signature program, what you're going to say or their takeaways should be made clear in that, and as authentic and to the point as possible. So I just got the idea that what you're saying here at that certain point can be made. Those statements can be put right in your bullet points under your signature program titles.
Absolutely, Wayne. Authenticity should reign supreme in everything you do about your signature programs. And your question is right on time, because we're getting ready to go into the visual identity and also the language and identity of your brand as well. That's a huge part, and all of that plays a part. That's why we're teaching a masterclass on this stuff, so you'll understand that every part and everything that you do, Wayne, pertaining to your personality, personally or professionally, it has everything to do with your brand, and the construction of that brand should be as authentic as possible. Wayne, the closer you stay to being yourself, you being a stand-up community leader, you being a person that has integrity, all of that kind of stuff right there. The very best of what I know about you since you've been in this coaching program from the inception of the very call, that is your brand, right?
Right,
Now
right.
watch this, Wayne. The only thing you're going to do is put a logo and a face to it, in the suit and the signature programs and the website and the speaker info kit. That's all brand. That's what we're going into right now. Did you have any other questions?
Yeah, well, yeah, we're talking about brand, but am I getting it clear when you say, like you just said, with what I say and how I said, how I've been, how my reputation in the community, that's, or how I'm seen, how I'm known, and then how I present myself. All this is what you're calling the brand?
Correct. That is what is encapsulated in your brand.
Right. So
watch this, Wayne. Your birth name is your brand. All of the other things that come along with it, like your signature programs, those are just things that's inside of your brand that you're presenting to the world to know everything about you. And if you want to be authentic, then you gotta stay as close to being who you are as much as possible.
Okay, so then once once we design a title of a signature program, then for those things, when I want to my focus on the customer, and something that I'm going to give to the customer to make it relevant, something I'm going to give to the hearer to make, to make them, to build value into them and so on. Mm-hmm. All those can be like the subtitles or when you put the bullet points under your signature program title, are you looking at those as takeaways, like that they'll get from your talk?
Those are absolute takeaways. You are helping them achieve their desired outcomes and their learning objectives, Wayne, through the bullets. The bullets are also talking points.
Okay.
Got it?
Yes.
Okay, you got any other questions?
No, we're good.
Okay, listen, I'm getting ready to send your signature programs back over to you. I need you to take a deeper dive on some of them, and then we'll schedule a session and we'll get them all straight and finalize, okay?
Deeper? I thought you were going to tell me I'm quite wordy, aren't I?
Well, no, Wayne, hold up. With you, deeper is not the proper word. I need you to simplify more. That's what I need you to do. But don't worry about it. I'm gonna put the notes in the email that I'm gonna send you, so you're gonna know exactly what to do.
All right.
Okay?
All right.
We'll be finalizing them this week, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, boss. Yes, sir. Always.
Hey, Kev, Marlon has a thought as well.
Okay. Let me just go back to Marlon. Okay, we unmute. Wayne, we gotta mute Wayne.
I got him muted.
Okay, no problem. Marlon, can you hear me? Marlon, are you there? Did you unmute?
Marlon, you'll have to unmute yourself.
Okay. Marlon, I unmuted you, bro. Can you hear me? Marlon, I hear something, but I don't hear your voice.
Okay, he might be away from the computer now.
Okay, no problem. All right.
Maybe
Is it
we can
another
wait
question?
on him. Yeah, let's see here. I think Norma is up next. Brian, hold on. Okay. Yep. So Norma's up next.
Okay, Norma. Allow to talk. Okay, Norma. How can I help you? Norma, can you hear me? I unmuted. Norma, are you there? Hello?
Norma, you'll have to unmute on your side.
Yeah, Norma, can you unmute on your side? Okay. I definitely unmuted the audio over there. Norma, are you there? All right, if not, we're gonna have to move forward. Troy, is there another person that had a question?
Nope, we're good to go.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, Norma, I hear you now.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Sorry.
I hear you.
My question is, as I work on my speaker focus programs, am I supposed to be addressing an audience, or am I addressing event coordinators? Who is my information to? That's been my problem. I didn't know who I was talking to. Who am I talking to?
Okay, that's a great.
Huh?
Okay, that's a great question. Norma, we talk about this in module number 2. Remember, I want you to jot these 3 things down. You have, because it could get confusing. You have a target audience, target buyer, and a target market. Target audience, target buyer, target market. You are getting your brand, the written part of your brand, through your signature programs. Kind of like the same question that Wayne had, but I'm going to clarify this for you because you asked me. The target audience are the conference goers and conference attendees, Norma, who are going to be sitting in your audience. Does your message go to them? Absolutely. That's when you're going to craft your message to give them key takeaway strategies, help them achieve their learning objectives and their desired outcomes. That part of your message, Norma, is when you're going to be delivering your keynote speech, your half day or your full day program. That's when you actually get on site, or you're going to be presenting these signature programs virtually. Now let's go to the target buyer. The target buyer is the gatekeeper, AKA conference coordinator, meeting and event planner, key decision maker who is directly responsible for booking you to speak. They are the chair, they are the committee member. Now, all the languaging, and I want all of you to listen to this, the languaging in your speaker info kit is going to directly address the conference coordinator. Are you understanding me?
Right, okay.
The conference coordinator, Norma, is the gatekeeper. They're not going to give you permission to get in front of their audience unless we can hit them with some sizzle, which is found in your website, in the speaker info kit, and in your speaker video demo. Now, the target market, remember, Norma, we discussed this, your target market out of the 6, which is the youth market, speaking to kids, the faith-based market, speaking to churches, the government contracting market, the college market, the corporate, and also the association market. You are going to be thriving in the corporate and association market because these companies out here, they have massive amounts of dysfunction, and your particular topic is going to help people mend broken hearts. Remember we talked about that?
Yes.
So your message, you are in the beginning when you're the consultant and you're doing a needs assessment, you're not going to say anything about being the speaker. You are the consultant first, sending a specific message that is found in your speaker info kit. That is why you're creating all these beautiful signature programs that we created and worked on for you. That's why you created all these bullets. You got to impress the conference coordinator first. Then when they give you permission and say, Norma, you got the gig, we want to hire you. Now you're going to put the speaker cap on, and you're going to be talking to the audience in a whole nother different kind of way. You're talking to the target buyer. Once you get past the gatekeeper, now you're talking to the target audience, which is the conference goers, conference attendees, employees, staff members who are sitting in your session, and you're going to be taking them to school about mending broken hearts and overcoming abuse and things of that nature. Do you understand me?
Yes.
Okay, do you have any other questions?
Yes. On what I've already done, as far as, you know, the website that I have,
Okay.
who am I speak? I'm still, when I first come out the gate, right now with what I got, who is that? I got the message to probably both.
Of course it's
I
going.
think it's probably both, but
It's okay. It's okay if some of the things on your website, it's still going to be specific to a target market. And that is going to be the corporate and association market. Norma, don't overthink it. Just simplify it. Everything the language that we've already created with your signature programs is going to the right place. It's going to corporations and associations. The conference coordinator who works for a corporation and association market. And then the conference coordinator is going to give you permission to get in front of their target audience to speak virtually or to speak on site at one of their events. You understand?
all right. Yeah, I got it.
So you've already created the language and it is going to the right place. You just got to be clear about what you're doing with the programs that you're going to be presenting, but you're going to do that on site. Remember, you got two different things, and I hope the rest of you understand this. Your signature programs and the marketing language for your brand is found inside the speaker info kit to speak directly to the target buyer, the person with the money in their hand, Norma.
Okay.
Then the second part of it is, after I get the booking, all that marketing language on the website and the speaker info kit and the way you're talking in the speaker video demo, all of that's for the target buyer, conference coordinator. When you actually get the gig, you're going to take the consulting hat off and then put this professional speaker cap on. Now, Norma, you're the specialist. You're the subject matter expert. You're the leading authority. You're the trusted advisor who is now going in there presenting our keynote speech, 2-hour educational keynote format, half-day program 2 to 4 hours, or full-day program 4 to 8 hours. Now you're getting in front of an audience, whether or not that be virtually, whether or not that be on site, through Zoom, or what have you.
Okay.
That's the difference. Now, do you understand?
Yes, I got it.
It's 2 phases to it. You got any other questions?
No, I think that's it for now.
Okay. All right. Norma, please get me the rest of the speaker info kit that you're working on. I know you got off track a little bit. We all do, including myself. Please get me the final speaker info kit or send it over to me. Let me know what it looks like so we can move on to the next stage of your building your speaker business, which the next module is building the speaker business, getting registered with the local Secretary of State. I know you were playing around with logo designs and company names. Norma, we're halfway there with you. If you keep working, we're going to get you all the way there. Okay? She must have put the mute back on. Any other questions, Troyer, so I can finish my presentation?
Nope, we're good to go.
Good to go. Okay, now let's talk about your visual identity. Visual identity is very important, everyone. What are we talking about? We're talking about what I just said to Norma. Visual identity is the primary logo. Don't try to get too fancy with your logo. You can have a bunch of different logos. Nike didn't start out with the same logo. They always kind of iterate off of it a little bit. Pick a primary color. Me and Austin keep ours simple, black and white. If I ever wanted to change it on the logo shirts that we have, we can always pick different colors. It's not a problem. Some of my speaker focus logos are white, some of them are black. So we just keep it basic, white and black for right now. Make sure your color palette, it evokes emotion. Now, this is the reason, if you do some studying on this, which I recommend you do, you see brands, they always use reds and yellows and royal blues and a gold, or something that's vibrant a lot of times really works. Whatever you feel like represents your brand. I know we were working with some of our female coaching students and they said, I want purple incorporated in my brand because it's royalty. Whatever does it for you, Don't overthink stuff. You got to commit to a decision and then put it out there. You can also have a secondary logo or a slogan. My slogan has always been for KTR, the speaker. It's always been magnifying success in your personal and professional vision. Speaker Focus, we create products for speakers to grow their business. So you can have a secondary logo or a slogan or some type of caption or catchphrase or something that your brand is known for. All right. Your fonts, you always want to use the same kind of font because you don't want to compromise the brand integrity. You want to keep it as simple as possible. When Auston came to me and he told me about his design for the Speaker Focus logo, he said, I want to keep it as close to Google as possible. And so with the font and he wanted to keep it really, really clean and real simple. And when you look at our logo, that's what it is. Okay. Unique texture or color or pattern. You can do whatever you want if it matches your ideology with what your brand is supposed to be about. Photography or graphical images. As you see right here, this is one of those pictures for my photo shoot. Listen, nobody else in the world wears their hair like this, number one. I just thought it was a great profile illustration of me really just paying homage to the microphone, which I absolutely love. The microphone is my wife, it's my mistress, it's my girlfriend, it's my lover, it's everything to me. All right? Because that's how I've always made my money. Now, to me, it's important for a microphone to be incorporated. Your visual identity is important. Don't be afraid to be yourself. I don't have to worry about nobody dressing like me. I don't have to worry about anybody. If you can get your hairstyle like this, I give you $1 million on the spot if you stay, because it takes a long time to get that image looking like that. And if you spend the kind of hours that I spend in the mirror alone, working on this stuff, perfecting it, you think this happens overnight? It doesn't. Sit there and work on it. Okay, advertisements and in marketing guidelines. Whatever you're going to advertise, whatever you're going to promote, there's guidelines behind this, ladies and gentlemen. Me and Auston just didn't jump up one day and say, ooh, we want to create Speaker Focus. No. Do you know the kind of hours that I spend on these slides, putting together these presentations? This stuff is tested. I'm putting information in front of you. You heard Auston say it before. It's right there in our core, 10 core values of Speaker Focus. Don't teach it unless you have tested it. Let's move forward. Okay, now we have the messaging and verbal identity. This is what I just talked about to Wayne and Norma. This is what you're writing. This is all of the copy. Let me say it again for the people that didn't hear it. Your best skill is not your ability to speak. Your best skill is your ability to write. When I think about some of the best writers on our platform, Tina Marie Rodriguez, she knows how to write excellent copy. She didn't always know how to write it, but let me tell you something, she's getting better and better and better at it. Norma Chappelle is she is an exceptional writer and an editor. We don't even want to talk about Laurel Erica, who is another guys. I'm not leaving any guys out. There's a lot of guys on our platform that do write great copy that I don't have to touch your signature programs. Marlon Mitchell is another one that I found. He's a brand new coaching student, and his copywriting skills are exceptional. He's written a book. He used to host a radio show. His elocution is amazing. Right? I mean, I'm leaving some other people out. Fred Dorsey crushed his signature programs when he sent them over here. But a lot of people struggle with them. Then there are ones who are exceptional. In your branding materials, you have got to let your writing ability come through in every single thing you do. Your messaging and your verbal identity. See, that's your elocution. That's the way you articulate your words. I want to say something too. A lot of you have accents. A lot of you have country accents. You're from a different country. Hey, don't be ashamed or embarrassed about where you're from. I'm from Capitol Heights, Maryland. Every once in a while, I am going to drop some of the G's, and instead of saying the word going, I'm going to say going. Every once in a while, I lose my discipline and I slip up. It's part of who I am. I'm still going to articulate as best as possible, but this is the way I speak. And ladies and gentlemen, you have to stick to what got you here. Whatever you're going to present to yourself in a magazine, a newspaper, ad. I've gotten tons of articles written on me, newspaper, all of that kind of stuff, online publications. Whatever I say to them, that's what I want them to print. If you really want to learn about a person, just listen to them speak. So your messaging and your verbal identity is huge when it comes to your brand. Whatever television advertising you're going to, whatever they're going to see on television, whatever they're going to see on YouTube, your social media, your SEO content marketing, everything. Let me tell you something. If you don't put together a strong messaging and verbal identity, your brand is going to languish and it's going to fail. Now, some differentiation strategies, examples to learn from. Me and Austin gave you a lot of great strategies. There's another picture of that was a custom charcoal gray pinstripe suit. That's when I was about 40 pounds lighter. I love that suit. I still have it hanging in my closet. And I just wanted to do something really, really kind of toned down conservative. Now, with me, when you say conservative, you have to really take that with a grain of salt because nothing about me is conservative. Absolutely nothing. This is one of my more conservative photo shoots, but you see, I got 6 microphones in my hands and I was shaking them like maracas, right? I was dancing in the studio when the photographer took the picture. And I was like, man, I was in there dancing and I just had a big smile on my face and he took a money shot. That's part of who I am. You got to be able to illustrate all of it. The differentiation strategy examples to learn from. Learn from what me and Austin talked to you about tonight in building the Speaker Focus brand. Study other brands that are around you without letting those brands consume you. See, if you're going to do it big, you're going to get around other people that they're going to feel a little minimized when they get around you and what you do. That's to be expected. Don't get intimidated by somebody else's brand. I sure as hell don't want you to be intimidated by my brand. Listen, there's something that all of you do that I don't do. There's a way in which you present yourself. I may admire it from afar, which I do a lot of you. We have some extremely talented people on our platform. A lot of them are on this session right now. You got to take pride in the very thing that got you here to where you are today. And those are the things that you should be presenting. So the brand, remember with KTR, you know, I simplified this thing. I iterated off of this. Remember, it used to be the motivational supercharger of the 21st century, Kevin T. Robertson, America's leading focus expert. Now that's a mouthful. So then I dropped the motivational supercharger of the 21st century. And then I said, okay, Kevin T. Robertson is now just going to be KTR. And that's how I got that logo looking like it is right now. So I had one of my interns design this logo for me many years ago. And I said, okay, look, I got this image of this figure on this platform. I was going to turn it into myself. I said, maybe I should take a silhouette of myself. But I said, no. I need to keep this really simple. So I said, I want you to chop off the top part of the figure on the podium, and I want you to put it on top of the K. She sent it back over to me. I said, I love that shit is dope. I said, I love it. And that is how I got that KTR logo. These are example after example. If you want to look at any of the bigger brands right now, they went through different versions, and some people have different logos, and that's okay to have that if that is befitting of your brand. Now, this was one of the first speaking engagements I got after I created the KTR logo. I remember, I believe this was the HUD conference in Detroit. I believe that was a picture, and they had me in the main ballroom. This was their directors conference. Every major director for HUD all across the country was sitting in my room right there. When I tell you that something, I was super empowered. First of all, let's talk about that custom. You can't really see it, but let's talk about that custom blue suit that I had. That was fresh from the tailor. I had a fresh, because I don't perform in nothing unless it's brand new. It just makes me feel empowered. That was a brand new white shirt that I had on with some French cuffs on it. And I just found that my tailor picked out this orange pocket square and a silk pocket square and a silk tie. I mean, you couldn't tell me nothing. And I debuted that logo right there at that HUD conference. And as you can see right here in the middle, like right below the screen, I had my laptop computer flipped up in front of it, and I had it facing me because I'm just not going to sit there and stand in one spot. I'm going over, talking to all the directors, asking them what their problems are. Ladies and gentlemen, put your brand on full phys ed, full display. They got to see it in living color in everything that's about your brand. I'm telling you right there, when you get in the ballroom like that, and then over here I had a flip chart where I was doing, and then I did a Q&A at the end. Let me tell you something. When you get me in a ballroom like that, then if you look up here at the top on the picture, we did a panel discussion right afterwards. So I had to go up on stage with some other people, and it was just amazing. I mean, that's me in my very, very best right there. When I see my logo, something happens to me in my mind. Oh shit, I'm seeing my, I'm seeing my, number one, let's talk about the fee that I got paid. That's enough to get you excited the whole time. You're getting paid, now that's back when my fee was $10,000, okay? Ha! You couldn't even get me for that anymore, whether or not it's virtually or on site. You know I love this business. Now begin by deciding what you want to be known for. Now this boils down to what kind of legacy or what kind of mark do you want to leave on this world? I talk to you guys about this all the time. Me and Auston are like family. We have something that we know is in our grasp. And when you see when Auston talks about, you know, we know that we have $1 billion brand, he talks about it so cavalier. This isn't a shock. This is a plan. This is about plan design that we're going about a certain way now. Obviously, we did not create the $1 billion brand model, but we're damn sure following it. So it's about legacy for us. What kind of legacy do I want to leave for my family? What kind of legacy do you want to leave for your kids? What kind of vision do you have? See, I've seen this for years. And what happened when Auston came along, he just made it get bigger. I already was thinking big. And anybody who knows me knows that when I say something out my mouth and I say, mark my words, you can take that shit to the bank. And when I met Auston, and Auston said, when he said, mark my words, bro, this is a blue ocean. The way you present the material, and when you pour it through the system that I created, nobody else is going to be able to touch it. And this is exactly what has happened. See, don't just start talking shit. You got to back it up. You got to know what you're doing. And that's all about the vision and the mission. And Auston showed you the 10 core values that Speaker Focus is all about. And let me move forward on this, because let me tell you something. The person that you see right here, see, you always see me with a beard. And I don't know if you got a lot of pictures that you've seen with me having a clean face. But this is about as corporate as I'm going to get on you, because I can pull off a lot of different looks. But this is what you call the slight edge advantage. See, it's almost like I almost worship the microphone. Well, if you're going to be a speaker, damn it, I think it might be a good idea to show me that that's what you do. And if I'm going to be a speaker coach, you're going to see me, anything you see me do, you're going to see me with a microphone in my hand. Now, this is called the slight edge advantage. Do some research on it. That means that when I know just a little bit more, and in my case, I know a whole lot more than the rest of these speaker coaches, okay? They know it and I know it. But if I just know a little bit more than you, that means I'm better. That means I'm better at delivering a better service experience. That means I'm better at delivering the content. You should see, look at the smile on my face right now. I'm going inside right now because I feel all warm and fuzzy. See, when you know you're the best and you do it at a very, very high level for good cause, not just for braggadocious purposes, but you know that you are top in your industry because you out hustle everybody and work harder. Listen, don't apologize for that. Don't ever apologize for your greatness. Remember to do research. This is the reason why I'm tops in my field, like a whole lot of other speakers that came along before me that I've studied that taught me the game. You're not going to be better at Les Brown at what he does. You can forget about it. So don't try to do that. You're not going to be better at Kevin T. Robertson doing what he does. Good luck with trying to find somebody else who's going to put together what me and Auston put together on a platform like this. I mean, listen, I keep trying to tell everybody, it's going to take them 50 years to catch up to what me and Auston are doing, because this is not, we're not satisfied with this. Every single day. Do you know what we do every day? Research, research, and more research, and then more research. And then Auston is sending me a video I got to look at. I mean, he drives me crazy with this shit. Yo, Kev, I need you to check. Yo, bro, check this out. Look at this podcast of Jordan Belfort. It looks real clean. Look at that. Look at his desk. Look at the background. Okay, got it. I'm already talking about new set designs for the podcast that we're about to do right now for the KTR show and for the Speaker Focus platform. Listening right now is you've got to be willing to do more research than your competitors. You think I make this stuff up? I know what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen, because I keep my head in the books. I read more than you. I do more research. Look. This is the way it is. Get used to it. Because when you start doing it in your industry, you're going to take over just like us. And I want you to take over. We are here for you to take over. The whole sole reason why Speaker Focus is put together is to deliver a better service experience, so you don't have to go through broke, begging, and desperation mode the way I did for the first 7 to 10 years of my speaker career. Because believe me, you don't want to do that. So I suggest you smarten up and listen to what is working and utilize every single thing I'm telling you, because I don't just bring information to you for no reason. Now, here are the 3 things you're going to do to develop your differentiators. I want you to come up with 3 to 5 reasons why your customers should pick you over your competitors. I want you to do it right now. If you can't write down 3 to 5 reasons, you don't even want me to get going on the separation between me and the other speaker coaches. The championship lives in my house. Everyone knows it. You don't even want me to make up a list. I'll get a list of 100. I'll call the shit off to you right now. But I just want you to keep it real simple when it comes to you and everybody else in your space. Because if you're not familiar with everybody else in your space, you need to become familiar with them. And then just give me 3 to 5 reasons why your customer should choose you and what you do. What is the differentiator? I want you to start developing the differentiators. Come up with a list of 3 to 5 things of the core reasons why they need to choose you and your professional speaker services. Now, what is your branding position statement? Do some research on branding position. Who are you? What do you do? And how does it benefit the target buyer? See, there's a position that you have. It's a market position that you have that is unlike any other in your space. If you just smarten up and recognize who you are, that you were uniquely and specifically designed, that you are wired a very specific way that no other person in the world is. Let's just start with that. You're hooked up to source energy, the universe. See, I'm going too high for y'all. I'm going too deep. You don't understand the laws of attraction and all the formidable laws of the universe, and you don't understand that you are very unique. And if you just go with that, you should be able to make a list up to tell everybody what's really going on. Now, we're going to go over, and we're almost done. We're bringing this to a close. We only got a few more slides left. Showcase your uniqueness. Like I said, I mean, I challenge any speaker coach to pull off a photo. Go, yeah. Try to follow this. See the way the lighting was with all 3 of the microphones? He put some special lighting right there. If you can see some light right there on the microphone, the light caught it right there. And the light caught right up under my hand. It's almost like I was saying, oh, the microphone, I make magic when I got this shit in my hand. I didn't know this photo shoot was going to turn out that way, but showcase your unique personality. Ladies and gentlemen, what am I saying? Tell your story. I can't tell you how many times I hear that, by the way, every day. Okay, y'all, let me tell you my story. That's how it always starts out. I love it. I can't tell you how many times I hear I'm going to be the best student you've ever had. I can't tell you how many times I hear, let me tell you about my background. Oh, when the person gets into telling their story, see, the key is that it's okay to tell it to me because I know how to help you take that story and put it out to the marketplace. But there's a whole lot of people that's telling their story to a bunch of people that can't do anything to help them. You're sitting there talking to your friends about your story. Forget about that. Start going through the modules and then let us help you tell your story the right way so it doesn't fall on deaf ears. Because I can tell you like this, with no organization to your message, you're going to wind up trending out like something on Twitter or social media. But if you take the time, baby, we could do it. Take the time, do it right. We could do it, baby. Ha! Do it tonight. Take the time to do it right. SOS band, if you don't know who that was. Take the time to build your story and do it right. And you showcase your unique personality. That's all I'm asking you to do. Forget about being somebody else. Forget about quoting somebody else. Forget about chasing behind all these other speakers. Because when you do it right, oh, let me tell you something. You're going to have something special on your hands. And mark my words. I don't promise it to you. I guarantee you. Now, remember, as we're closing out this session, make a connection with your audience. Make a connection with your target buyer. Make a connection for people who are consuming your content. Remember to track your efforts and the impact that they make. You want to be able to know that your brand is having a positive impact. You want to know that you're getting feedback about what your target base likes and what they don't like. It's your job. You only make money unless you can provide a service that someone is going to value. Build on the strategies that appear to be working. In other words, what am I saying? Every single day that goes by, learn what's working. Listen to the market. Listen to the market. Me and Austin do this every single day. I don't care if we can take customer feedback that is excellent and we get high praise every single day. We get tons of that. But we also listen to when customers are not happy. We listen to what we can do to make them happy. Oh, I'm real quick. Let somebody send me an email right now about something that they're not happy about. I'm the CEO of this company. I will immediately schedule a call with them. I will call them immediately and find out what the hell is going on, because you're not messing up me and Austin's money. Now, if there's a service ticket that's not being, if there's a technical issue, if there's a login issue, Austin doesn't have time for that stuff to pile up on him. He's going to address it immediately. Do we get to it late sometimes? Yeah, we're human like anybody else. But you can bet everything you got in the bank right now that you will be heard and it will be taken care of. That's not a promise. That's a gift. We don't make promises on our platform. We make guarantees. We got a service guarantee that we care about you and the information is being delivered to you and how that is going to help you grow your speaker business. Because if it's not helping you, you need to reach out to me, because I'm the one doing I'm the one doing the most of the talking. And if it's something you're not understanding about this, I will help you understand it. If I'm not making it simple enough, I will make it simple. Remove strategies that aren't working. So you got to become real good at having a short memory. And if you did something wrong, or if you have a strategy or you came up with an ideology that's not working, you need to get rid of it, especially if it's offensive to your clients, to your customers who pay you money. Delivering the right impression to your audience. Now, that's a gray area. What's the right impression? Sometimes I'm super professional. Sometimes I use some profanity. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I have a very suit and tie corporate image. Sometimes I have a headband on and I'm out exercising and working out. What kind of branding impressions? See, you need to do some research on that as well. What kind of branding impressions are you creating? Because that is what's getting out there to the market. Now, are you getting feedback? When you're making a connection, are you getting feedback? Are you getting something that you're feeling that the results turn into revenue? The results turn into something actionable, moving the meter forward for your client base. And last but not least, your message and brand will become stronger every time you make adjustments to drive results. All me and Austin care about is iterating, more iteration and iterating again, and process improvement and making it better. That's how you stay at the top of your game. You have got to outread, out-research, outperform, out-service everybody else in your space. And you got to make it a point that you're not going to let them take your number one position. I am not going to allow the rest of these. Are you listening to me? I am not going to allow anybody to outwork me and Austin. And the rest of you speaker coaches, if you even get it in your mind, you better go to sleep and get another dream, because this is mine. Now that's how serious you need to take it if you want to stay at the top of your game. Y'all can forget about getting my spot. You can forget it. Okay. I get excited sometimes because I'm very passionate and I love you and I want you to be number one in your space as well. Now, brand differentiation, a brand differentiation strategy. Demonstrate the value of your company every single step of the way. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not just in the price, but it's in the terms of your service, the ethical measures, and other aspects as well. Do you have integrity? Do you have brand integrity? You don't want to compromise your brand integrity. Highlight your USP. That's your unique selling position. Every one of you have a unique selling position. You need to take advantage of it because it's going to give you leverage. It's going to give you leverage. Your USP, your unique selling position, is going to give you leverage, unlike anybody else in your space. A brand differentiation strategy which pulls focus to the value of your company helps convince customers that there's no available substitute of what you're offering. Damn, that shit was so sweet. I need to say it again. Are you listening to me? A brand differentiation strategy which pulls focus to the value of your company helps what? Convince customers that there is absolutely no other substitute for what you're offering. Though other competitors may offer similar products, the experience you're providing is one of a kind. That means that what you get on this platform, you flat out, ladies and gentlemen, cannot, period. I'd like for you to search high and low. You're not going to find it anywhere else in the world. That's how you know you're on to something. And that's what we want and wish for your brand and want to teach you how to do as well. That is what this is all about. Also, improve brand loyalty. How are you going to get them to stick around, stay engaged, keep coming back for more? Finally, a successful brand differentiation strategy creates loyalty amongst the customers. You don't run a multi-million-dollar sales funnel like we're running right now if what you're doing isn't working. And I hope that you can get this passionate about your brand as well, because I want to see you successful. You got my personal guarantee if you just stick to the process. Oh, we're going to get you there, ladies and gentlemen. So now, Troyer, jump back in here real quick, boss. Did we have any further questions? We're going to wrap the session. I know we're pushing past 2 hours. I know we are. Yep. Yeah, we're a little.
I don't see any more questions. Marlon just had a couple good thoughts.
No problem. Read them to me real quick, please.
Yeah, so he said, thanks for that information. He said, while I was aiming at leadership training in corporate America, but is finding my strongest leads in college leadership training for the executive team.
That is a niche. That is absolutely a niche. Oh,
strong one.
That's Marlon Harmon. Is that correct? We got two Marlons in our coaching program.
Yeah, that's Marlon Harmon.
Yeah, Marlon. Let me tell you something, boss. When a lot of my Edinburgh University and Coppin State University and North Carolina, and it's a lot of colleges that on my past client roster. Okay, now when I did a series of, you can do, let's say you do the orientation presentation for the freshmen. One year I was booked like probably 30, 40 orientation presentations. But when the administrators saw what I did with the kids, they said, hey, can you come in and train our staff? Do you know you could just specifically do training just for the administration of all these colleges? Marlon, by the way, there are over 4,000 plus colleges throughout the United States and US Virgin Islands. What makes the college market really, really work is the student activity fee. The student activity fee is tied into the tuition. Every student pays an activity fee, and it is mandated for them to bring in clowns, bands, jugglers, spiritual acts, rappers, illusionists, hypnotists, all of these particular things. And you can bet everything you got in the bank that they book speakers on a regular basis. They book speakers for all of, when the Greek department, multicultural department, the science department, all these people want to do events. They bring in a speaker. And if you have a leadership program that will enhance campus life and also teach the faculty, bro, if you wanted to, you could put together a program strictly for the faculty. There's tons of colleges all around who would eat that program up alive. Marlon, we just finished your signature programs. You just approved. I just checked all your signature programs. They're phenomenal. And I just put the final touches on your bio. I just saw you sent the email back and said you approved it. I got Marlon's bio. If you want your bio done right, I suggest you send it to me, because I got them ready for an appearance on MSNBC and everybody else. This is what you get when you come to Speaker Focus. Now, Austin, we'll end the session with you. I just got one more thing to ask you, boss. Troy, you there?
Yep.
I can't see you, bro. Oh, I know what it is. Okay, there we go. All right. So, Troy, what are your final thoughts on? Because I want to ask you a question, and then I'm gonna allow you to wrap up the call. Now, when it comes to pain and the pain that we've been through to build our brand, could you just give some insights on how to overcome any obstacles that you've been through with your brand? Because everything we've tried has not worked. And then tell me about where you see Speaker Focus going as we are closing out another powerful year.
Yeah, so I think the biggest struggle is always, everyone has very limited resources, every company. Even the big brands, they have limited resources to be able to reach every customer. And because it's really expensive. It's expensive to market, expensive to brand. And also customers more than ever and people in general just are very all over the place. They're being bombarded with all sorts of marketing and promotion all the time, and they're distracted. So, and people are busier than ever before. And so you only get so much time, and you only get a few moments with each customer. So you need to make those moments count, and you need to quickly, because people lose attention quickly. You got to help your customer understand what you're about quickly. And the way to do that is keep things simple. And that's why we mentioned, you want to have a few core things, 1 to 2 things that your brand really speaks to, 2 things that you really value as a brand. And you want to get that in your customer's head and your prospect's head quickly. And, that's why we build the signature programs the way we do. You need to be very specific about what you do, what value you provide. And so knowing that it costs a lot to get in front of customers and your resources will always be limited, you need to make that impression count. So I think for us, it's always been, what do we want the Speaker Focus brand to be? What do we want our customers to remember? What do we want our prospects to remember most? Mm-hmm. And it's constantly iterating on that. But I think, for us and, what we want in the future is we want them to understand that we're going to go to extensive lengths to make sure that they get results and that they're happy and that they're engaged. That right there is like, if you come into our program, you're going to get results and you're going to be taken care of. And number 2, like I mentioned, we're going to keep our products very effective and simple. And, we're always going to push the needle on our products. And if you come into Speaker Focus, that for lifetime, you're going to always have the most up-to-date information. You're going to have the up-to-date strategies that work. And so I think, for the rest of our duration as a company and as people, we want to live by those core values, which means Kevin and I have every single day, we spend 12, 14-hour days every day focused on how do we live up to those core values. And it's a lot of work. Those two are not easy. We need to constantly be researching. We got to constantly be spending money to test things. We have to stay at the cutting edge, and technology and speaking and consulting is constantly changing every single day, especially with, the new environment that we're faced with, the pandemic, and, transitioning into that now, slowly transitioning out of that and getting back into the speaking world and on-site stuff. We have to keep in mind that, Kevin and I and the rest of the team have to be really on the cutting edge with everything we do. And I think for everyone else, is just the key question is, what do you want people to know you best for? You have one to two things that you can really get in people's heads when they come into your funnel and they come into your business. What do you want them to remember? And you want it to, live those core values personally, but then everything you do with your brand needs to speak very clearly to those two things. And I would recommend Steve Jobs, before he died, he put out a few videos about, Apple, how they came up with Apple's brand and their marketing strategies. And actually, when I post the recording, I'll link to Steve Jobs' branding training videos. They're really good, because Apple is, one of the top, I'd say probably number one brand that everyone knows in the world. Obviously they're at the top of the stock market, number one, always. So how did they get that brand? You have to look at the greatest brands ever. How did they get there? Well, they kept it simple, and they focused on, one or two things that they communicated. So I think that's the biggest thing. Yeah, just be thinking on, what do you want that to be? And before you get out to the market, you need to be very clear with what those things are. And Kevin and week 1 and 2 of the program, that's what it's all about, is coming up with those signature programs, coming up with that brand. And you already have it in you. You have that brand in you already. You just need to pull it out and make it very concise and crystal clear with what it is for everyone else to understand.
Absolutely. Troy, I'm coming to see you soon, bro.
Good. Let's make it happen.
We're going to hit the barbecue spot right down the street. Hey, listen, this is why I love doing business with Auston, because, it inspires me, and, to know that we have so much work to do, and, you can't eat the whole elephant at one time. You got to take it one bite at a time. And, it's also very inspiring, because we have two different perspectives. We don't live in a perfect world. This stuff is hard some days. It's really hard. And, me and Auston have two differences of opinions, and he's very strong-minded about his opinion, and I'm strong-minded about mine. Sometimes it gets a little heated, it gets passionate, but we don't waste a lot of time arguing about a bunch of stuff, because we have so much respect for each other. Now we could have easily been successful and done our own thing, but we wanted to come together because, number one, we saw the value in working together. And then we saw the massive, like, if you're an entrepreneur, your job is to extract dollars out of the system. Now, there is a massive amount of cash flow funneling through the system, and me and Auston just want our fair share of it. Now, that being said, our goals may be a little loftier than some people's. Your goals are going to be whatever yours are, but we're here to help you understand that brand is you, and you are your brand. Think about brands like J-Lo. Jennifer Lopez is a brand. Now, I know you see it on her perfume bottle, but she has J-Lo jeans and a whole bunch of other stuff. I could go on and on. Auston made a great idea, great thing about Apple. Apple, their logo has changed to that. Now it's like that flat matte silver, So, but their logo has changed over the years. But one thing they've done is they've always kept it real simple. And so if you look at the pattern that we're following, we didn't create the multi-billion-dollar system, But we damn sure have our mentors, people who we pay money to, a lot of money, to keep us on track and hold us accountable. And those are the strategies that make Speaker Focus what it is. Auston is constantly looking and studying and researching information, and we're in school. You think class is in session for you, class is in session for us as well. So I want you to know you're not in it by yourself, but you are on a platform that understands your pain. You are on a platform that has a very unique skill set that is going to hold you accountable. It doesn't matter where you are. I see a lot of our one-on-one students are on the call tonight. A lot of people have been sick. A lot of people have had some serious things going on in their lives. It just, the pandemic has affected all of us in some kind of way. But I'm here to tell you that the system is the system is the system at the end of the day. And you can get back on track and get back into the system and start getting involved in these modules, and then going over the checklist after every single module, and upload your assignments through school. We will address them, and because the bottom line is that's what we're in business to do, and we're dedicated to doing it. And we don't want to do anything else. You know, when I found out that Auston was just passionate as I was about servicing this niche, and I knew that we were going to have a technology company, then that's what you do. You stand on the principles and the values and the integrity of what your brand stands for. So Auston, as always, great job again, brother. I appreciate the knowledge, dropping it on us like always. We are here for you with 24-hour support. We're here to listen to things that even when they're not going right. Wayne, I'm in it with you all the way. We are going to get your signature programs under control so you have that weight off your shoulder. Norma, we're going to get you, advance you through to the next module number 3. We're going to get your logo straightened out. Marlon Harmon, we're going to work with you to get those college contracts and that money sitting there waiting for you, boss. We're going to help you get all the rest of your business built out, and we're going to teach you how to talk to that specific market, exactly how they need to be talking and delivering the value that you know that's missing in that market. On behalf of the staff at speakerfocus.com, on behalf of my business partner, Auston Troyer, I am Kevin T. Robertson, the world's #1 speaker coach. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been my absolute pleasure to be of service to you this evening. I will see you right here, same time next week. Please get my homework assignments done and stay focused on your goals and dreams.